Greetings from Australia and welcome to episode 1 of Australian federal elections 2022. The campaign is on and 17.7 million voters out of a total population of 26 million Australians are going to the polls in the next few weeks to decide not only their economic and financial security but more critically our national security. And what I'm specifically talking about is Australia's dependence upon China for our standard of living and in many ways our economic and financial security, because China accounts for 33% of Australia's total exports, or 43% of iron exports, and 90% of Australia's wool, and 80% of Western Australia's iron ore exports. So Western Australia is totally dependent upon the goodwill and economic franchise that exists between China and Australia. Now this is these 2022 elections are critical because of Australia's very tenuous relationship with our major trading partner. Now, what has happened since Prime Minister Scott Morrison came to power and became Prime Minister in 2018 is he has not only not visited and sat down with Xi Jinping in China, he's never visited China as Prime Minister, but he has deliberately gone out of his way to offend our major trading partners. It's a terrible indictment on the priorities and the behaviour of Scott Morrison as Prime Minister. So when Australians go, 17.7 million Australians who are eligible to vote, go to the polls between now and the third week in May 2022, they have some very serious thinking and discussions that should take place. Now, to provide you with some guidelines, I've released my latest autobiography titled From Mao to Deng to Xi to Me, 1972 to 2022, 50th Anniversary Reflections and Insights. And I think it's well worth, for the price of 2 cups of coffee, it's well worth a read, and hopefully you'll gain some insights into how important Australia's relationship with China is, and particularly our Prime Minister's relationship with the President for life, Xi Jinping. And throughout the autobiography, I basically provide some guidelines in terms of how I think Australia's relationship with China should be handled, and it's certainly diametrically opposed to the situation that we find ourselves in. And remember, it was Gough Whitlam, Labor opposition leader, who first went to China in July 1971. Some 6 months or so before my wife and I were officially invited into China in late 1972. So Australia has a 50-year relationship and was instrumental in encouraging and opening up China to not only Australia but to the world and the global economies. Now, every single Australian, in fact every single citizen of the world, has benefited from China's economic development, prosperity and trade over the past 50 years. So it's critically important that basically this is recognised, and one way to do this is in terms of the critical vote at the 2022 Australian federal elections. So enjoy the read, have a happy Easter, and I'll talk to you again with episode 2. Thank you very much for your time.